If your Excel filter dropdowns disappear, or your filter selections do nothing, you're not crazy. Excel is usually filtering the wrong shape of data. The fix is almost always simple once you know what to check first. Start by asking one question. Is Excel filtering a clean single table, or a messy range with gaps and mixed content? Filters only behave reliably when Excel can clearly detect headers, consistent columns, and one continuous block of records. If there's a blank row, a merged header, or a random note in the middle, Excel may create a filter that looks normal, but won't apply correctly. Sometimes the drop-down arrows are missing because the filter is turned off, applied to a different row, or blocked by protection. Other times the arrows are there, but the results don't change because the data is stored as text, or because you're filtering a partial range. In the next steps, you'll run a quick checklist that fixes the majority of cases in minutes. Next step. First, confirm the filter is actually turned on for the range you're working in. Excel has two common modes: autofilter for a normal range and filters inside an Excel table. If you click somewhere outside your data, then toggle filter, Excel can add drop-downs to the wrong row or not show them where you expect. A fast test is to click a cell inside the header row you want filtered, then toggle filter off and back on. Also check if you're in a different worksheet section with frozen panes. Sometimes the headers you're looking at aren't the headers Excel is filtering. Another common issue is multiple header rows. Excel expects one header row. If you have a title line and then headers below it, Excel may filter the title line instead. The fix is to keep titles above the dataset, leave one true header row, and then apply filter. If you use an Excel table, filters should appear automatically in the header row. Next step. Next, check whether your data is one continuous block. Filters work best when every column has data aligned row by row, with no completely blank rows inside the dataset. A single empty row can split your list into two separate regions, and Excel may only filter the top region. Blank columns can also confuse the detected range, especially if there's a gap between fields. Another subtle problem is almost blank rows. Rows that look empty but contain a space, an apostrophe, or a hidden character. Excel treats those as content, which can break the clean rectangle it tries to filter. The practical fix is to remove blank rows inside the list. Move notes and totals outside the dataset, and keep your headers directly above the first record. If you need spacing for readability, use formatting like borders or banded rows, not empty rows. Once the dataset is a clean rectangle, reapply the filter and test again. Next step. A big reason dropdowns go missing is merged cells. Excel filters do not play nicely with merged headers, merged title rows, or merged cells anywhere in the header area. When cells are merged, Excel can't map one header to one column cleanly, so it may refuse to show dropdowns or it may filter unpredictably. A related issue is when the header row contains blanks. If a column header is empty, Excel may still filter, but the dropdown can behave oddly and sorting can break. The safest structure is simple: one row of unmerged headers. Every column has a name and the data starts immediately below. If you need a centered title, keep it above the headers and don't merge across the dataset. Use center across selection instead of merge when you want the look without the structural problems. After unmerging and naming headers, toggle the filter again to refresh. Next step. If the filter dropdown is there but the results don't change, suspect that Excel is filtering text that looks like numbers or dates. For example, 100 stored as text won't behave like a real number, and dates imported from another system might be text strings. When you filter for a number range or sort smallest to largest, Excel may act like nothing happened because it's comparing text, not values. Another clue is when the filter list shows unexpected options, like both 1 and 1: with a trailing space. The fix is to convert the column to real values. You can use text to columns for a quick conversion, or multiply by 1 using paste special to coerce text numbers into numbers. For dates, use date value or re-enter one date and fill down, then clear and reapply the filter so Excel rebuilds the filter list from clean values. Next step. Another common cause is filtering only part of the dataset. This happens when the filter range was created before new rows or columns were added. Excel will happily filter the original range and ignore everything outside it, so it looks like the filter doesn't apply to the full list. The cleanest fix is to convert the range into an Excel table, because tables automatically expand as you add rows and columns. If you can't use a table, you need to redefine the filter range. Turn the filter off, select the entire dataset including headers, then turn the filter on again. Also, watch out for columns added to the right. Filters may not extend into new columns if there was a blank column separating them. Keeping the dataset contiguous and using a table prevents this problem from coming back the next time the file grows. Next step. If you're working with grouped rows, outlines, or a pivot table nearby, filters can feel inconsistent. Grouping can hide rows, and then filtering may appear to do nothing because the visible subset doesn't change much. Pivot tables also have their own filtering system, separate from normal autofilter. If you try to apply a normal filter inside a pivot table area, Excel may block it or behave unexpectedly. The key is to identify what object you're in. If it's a pivot table, use pivot filters or slicers instead of the standard filter button. If it's grouped data, try expanding the groups before filtering, then regroup after. Also check for subtotal rows inside the dataset. Subtotals break the idea of one record per row, and filters can produce confusing results. Keep subtotals outside the raw data or use a pivot table to summarize cleanly. Next step. Sometimes the drop-down arrows are missing because the sheet is protected, or the workbook structure restricts changes. Protection can allow selecting cells, but block using autofilter. Or it can allow filtering only if the option was enabled when protection was applied. Another scenario is shared or restricted files where certain editing features are limited. The practical move is to check whether you can unprotect the sheet, or whether the person who protected it can enable Use Autofilter while protected. Also consider that the header row might be locked in a way that prevents Excel from adding drop-down controls. If you're in a corporate template, the filter may be intentionally disabled. In that case, converting the range to a table can sometimes restore filtering, because tables manage their own filter UI. If you still can't filter, copy the data into a new workbook you control and test there to isolate permission issues. Next step. Hidden rows and hidden columns can also make filters feel broken. Filtering doesn't automatically unhide everything, so you can end up with a result that looks wrong because some rows were manually hidden before you filtered. The filter might be correct, but you're not seeing the full set of matches. Another twist is filtered data inside a range that already has hidden rows from prior work. To reset your view, unhide all rows and columns in the dataset, then clear any existing filters. Also check for multiple filters stacked across different columns. It's easy to forget a filter is still active in one column. Then you apply another filter and think Excel is ignoring you. A good habit is to use clear for the whole filter state before testing a new condition. That gives you a clean baseline and makes troubleshooting much faster. Next step. If your drop-down list is missing items, where the search box in the filter doesn't find values you know exist, the issue is often extra spaces, non-printing characters, or inconsistent text. Data copied from web pages and PDFs is famous for this. Two entries can look identical, but differ by a non-breaking space, a line break, or a hidden tab character. Excel then treats them as different values, which clutters the filter list and makes filtering unreliable. The fix is to clean the text. Trim removes extra spaces, clean removes non-printing characters, and substitute can remove specific characters like non-breaking spaces. After cleaning, paste values back over the original column so the dataset is consistent. Then clear and reapply the filter, so Excel rebuilds the drop-down list. This is also the step that fixes filter doesn't apply when your criteria matches visually, but not exactly. Next step. Another advanced cause is inconsistent data types within the same column. For example, a column might contain numbers, text like NA, and blanks. Excel will still filter, but certain filter options can behave strangely because Excel has to guess how to treat the column. You might see number filters missing or date filters missing because Excel decided it's a text column. A practical approach is to standardize the column. If it's a numeric field, replace NA with a true blank or with a consistent code in a separate status column. If it's a date field, Keep only real dates and move notes elsewhere. The goal is one meaning per column. Also check for error values like #NA or hash value. Those can be filtered, but they can also hide issues in formulas that create inconsistent outputs. Once the column is consistent, filter options become predictable again. Next step. If you're filtering a range with formulas, especially formulas that return empty strings, you can get confusing results. A cell that looks blank might actually contain a formula returning integers, and Excel may treat it differently than a truly empty cell. That affects filtering for blanks, sorting, and even the unique list in the dropdown. Also, volatile formulas or external links can cause the filter list to lag behind the latest calculated values. The fix is to decide what blank should mean in your sheet. If you need true blanks, consider returning NA instead of an empty string, or keep a helper column that flags records you want included. If the dataset is meant to be static for filtering, copy and paste values to remove formulas. And if results look stale, force a recalculation, then clear and reapply the filter. This keeps the filter aligned with the actual current values. Next step. Now let's put it into a fast, reliable troubleshooting order. First, click inside the dataset and toggle the filter off and on so you know Excel is targeting the right range. Second, verify the dataset is one continuous block, no blank rows, no merged headers, and one real header row. Third, confirm the filter range includes all rows and columns, or convert the range to a table so it expands automatically. Fourth, if filtering does nothing, convert text numbers and text dates into real values. Fifth, clean text to remove hidden spaces and characters, then standardize mixed type columns. Finally, check for protection, pivot table areas, grouping, and hidden rows that can mask what's happening. This order matters because it moves from structural issues to data quality issues, and that's how Excel thinks about filters. Run this checklist, and you'll fix the majority of broken filter cases without guessing. Next step. To wrap up, Excel filters are dependable when the dataset is structured like a database table. One header row, one record per row, consistent columns, and clean values. When dropdowns vanish or filters don't apply, it's usually a sign that the structure or data types drifted over time. If you want the most future-proof setup, convert your range to an Excel table and keep totals, notes, and subtotals outside the raw data. That one habit prevents most filter problems before they start. If you found this checklist useful, subscribe for more practical Excel fixes that save you time when spreadsheets get messy. And for a quick check-in, leave a comment with your situation. Are your filters failing because the dropdowns are missing, or because the filter applies but nothing changes? Small tweaks compound into massive performance gains. Subscribe to catch the next workflow optimization.